Good day everyone. By the way, my name is Jeremiah Albalusan from BS Scrim 2 Section C. Today I'm going to discuss the topic of the forensic photography book on chapter 3, the photographic films and papers. Photographic films and papers has four important subjects. The first one is the black and white films. The second one is the color films. Third is the photographic papers. And the last one is photographic papers for color printing. First is we will discuss the topic about the black and white films. Black and white films is basically made up of emulsion, gray or anti-halation backing, and a support base. The meaning of emulsion is the photographic emulsion is consist of crystal of light sensitive compounds like silver nitrate evenly distributed throughout plastic-based materials. Silver halide emulsion are universally sensitive to ultraviolet radiation and some of wavelength of blue light. They can be made of sensitive to the colors of light and the near infrared radiation by the additional of special sensitizing dye. Gelatin is universally used as the medium that holds the crystal in emulsion. The second one is the gray or the anti-halation backing. This layer is placed between the emulsion of the plastic base and of a film to prevent whatever light that passes through the emulsion and reflected by the base back to the emulsion, which forms a halo. The third one is the base. Generally, film bases are made of plastic materials and they serve as a support to the emulsion. The characteristic of the black and white films are speed, sensitivity to light, spectral wavelength or color, sensitivity, and granularity or graininess. All the film are universally manufactured is about in the same way. There are controlled variation procedure, choice, and proportion of chemical use in processing films of different characteristics. The first one is the emulsions. There are different indicators of the emulsion speed that follows. These are the ASE or the American Standard Association. This is expressed in the arithmetical value. The second one is DIN or the Dutch Industry Normen, which is expressed in logarithmic value. The last one is the ISO or the International Standards Organization. This is expressed in the combined arithmetical or logarithmic values. The second one is the spectral sensitivity. The different classification of film is according to each spectral sensitivity. The first one is the blue or the sensitive film or sensitive to ultraviolets and blue lights only. The next is the orthochromatic film or the sensitive to ultraviolet rays, blue and green light only. The third one is the polychromatic film, sensitive to ultraviolet radiations to blue, green, and red light or to all colors. The fourth one is the infrared film, sensitive to ultraviolet rays, to blue, green light, and infrared rays. The next one is the granularity or the graininess. This refers to the size of metallic silver grains that are formed development of an exposed film. Generally, the sizes of metallic silver grains are dependent on the emulsion speed of the film of the type of developing solution that is used in processing. The rules is the lower the emulsion speed rating of the film is the finer green, and conversely, the higher the emulsion speed rating of the film, the bigger and the greens. Likewise, a film developer will produce a finer grain that a paper developed when used for filming processing. Next is, let's proceed to the subject of the color films. A color film is multi-layer emulsion coated on the same support or base. The top emulsion is sensitive to blue light only. Since the green and red light passes through without effects, the blue light alone makes the exposure. A yellow filter layer above the middle emulsion absorbs any unused blue light and prevents it from reaching the two-layer emulsion layers. The yellow colors in the filter layer have no permanent effects on the appearance of the film because it is destroyed during processing. Likewise, the metal emulsion is sensitive to green light but no red light. Like all emulsions, the middle layer is also sensitive to blue light, but the blue light cannot reach it. The exposure of this layer is therefore made by green light alone. The bottom layer is sensitive to the red light, but is sensitive to the green light. It is too low as to be negligible. Hence, the exposure in this layer is made by red light alone. These three emulsion layers are located on a film base has an anti-aliasing backing. Types of color films. A is the negative or non-reversal film. The suffix color is given to negative or non-reversal film. This film yields either a negative or positive image depending on how it is used. Example of this is the Kada color or the Fujicolor, Agrofacolor, and etc. Next one is B, the reversal film. The suffix chrome is applied to reversal material. This film, when processed a positive image or transparency, projection viewing. Examples of these are the Kadochrome, Echolchrome, Fujichrome, and the Agfachrome, and etc. Next is we will proceed to the subject of photographic papers, or the black and white. Modern photographic paper are basically composed of light-sensitive coating, or what we call the emulsion. On a paper base or support, the emulsion suspended a gelatin is generally made of silver halide salts. The withstands the rigors of soaking in chemical solution and water during processing and washing, as well as the variety of degree or humidity and temperature. The base is made of wood pulp. The characteristic of photographic papers has four subjects. These are the emulsion speed, the exposure and development latitude, contrast range or grades, and the last one is the physical characteristic. First is the emulsion speed. Emulsion speed has three categories. The first one is the chloride paper, or has a slow speed and is suited for contact printing. The second is the bromide paper, has a fast speed and is recommended for projection printing or enlarging. The chlorobromide paper is composed of or a multi-speed printing that could be used in both chloride paper and bromide paper. For example, this is the printing or enlarging. The contrast of motion affects printing speed. For some papers, the lighter contrast grade, the lower the speed. Next is the B, the exposure and development latitude. Latitude is the degree of amount of which you can deviate the ideal exposure or development without accessible loss of printing quality. It has the exposure latitude explanation is generally photographic papers do not have wide exposure latitude to expose to exposure must be critical at all times. The development latitude is the papers that do not change appreciable in contrast and image tone with reasonable variations in development that good latitude. However, for the best quality, the developing time should be as nearest as prescribed by the manufacturer. The third one is the contrast range or grade. In a black and white printing, it is often necessary to adjust the paper contrast so they can be yield. A nature sensor result negative with density range that are either too high or too low. Some papers are available in several contrast range or grade, while others have built-in contrast control affected by use of filters of enlarging lens or the enlarger light source. The example of this is, there are three examples of this. Is number one is the number 0 and 1 are used on overexposed or low contrast negative. The second is number 2. 2 are used on normal exposed or normal contrast negative. Number 3 is the number 3 to 5 used in underexposed or high contrast negative. The next one is the physical characteristics. Under this category, a photographic paper comes from different surface-based thickness or weight and color. There are also three types of physical characteristics. These are the surface of photographic paper, base weight of thickness, color, may be called. The first one is the surface of photographic papers. Vary in surface textures of degrees glossy or sheen. They are the glossy and smooth, semi-matty or silk, and the matty of or the rough surface. Base weight of thickness. The second one. Under the category we have the lightweight, single weight, medium weight, and the double weight. The third one is the color, may be cold or white with a very slight blue cast, and the warm or cream where the white has a slightly yellow brown line. And let us proceed to the last subject of this discussion. The last one is the photographic papers for color printing. Photographic papers for color printing is essentially similar to the film used in the camera, except that the emulsion layers are coated on a paper base and contain couplers which are colorless. Colored couplers are not used because the print would then be suitable for direct viewing. Printing is a negative in complementary colors or non-reversal. Print reverse both the tone, scale, and color of the negative. Thus, the final result is a positive reproduction within the accuracy limits of the photographic processes of the tones and colors. The original subject is the photographic papers, both color and black and white, are supplied in the rules of shade in varying length or sizes. That's all for today, everyone. I hope you've learned something with my discussion, and once again, a good day, and God bless us all. Thank you.